Mir wurde gesagt, dass meine Großmutter meine Videos manchmal schaut. Tu das diesmal nicht. Dieses Video ist nicht sicher für Großmütter. This video is not safe for grandmas. Okay? Shut up, Claptrap. I have this Live 2D model to test and I craft some Borderlands right now. So why don't we take a retrospective look at Borderlands 3? Check out whether... The tracking really doesn't work yet. I'm gonna have to figure that out, I'm sorry. Let's check out whether my initial verdict is cruel and unnecessary. Okay, but I wasn't actually doing a lot of videos when I first played this game, so let's sum up what I thought of Borderlands 3. Frankly, I hated how much I loved Borderlands 3. Doesn't make sense? Good. As I remember it, the gameplay of Borderlands 3 was frankly too good. It was incredibly smooth in the moment to moment, and it has such cool skill trees. I just couldn't play the earlier games without constantly comparing them. But, well, I come to Borderlands for its writing. The childish jokes, yeah, there is some whimsy in them. Don't deny it, it just makes you look foolish. But the stories of all Borderlands games all were relatively easy to play through over and over again. I enjoyed cutting my way through Frostburn Canyon and Crisis Scar for the 11th time. No, really, I did. And that's kind of also where Borderlands 3 fails, because to reach this mythical endgame, you still have to play through the main story twice. No amount of grinding saves you from that, and Borderlands 3's story is, if it was just bad, I don't think Borderlands 3 would have failed quite as hard. Borderlands 1's story was, how do I say this? Its writing was more built around modern open world than any of its other systems, including the world. As my teacher would have said, sit down, you failed. But I still enjoyed replaying that one. Because Borderlands 1's story was ignorable. It didn't interrupt your momentum just to force-feed cutscenes. Borderlands 3 does. So the main campaign, the part you'll see the most of, is incredibly frustrating. And we haven't talked about how it overused the purple bullet sponges. I hope we get to that part. In either case, it managed both to ruin the previous games for me and to not be good enough to replace them at the same time. That's my initial verdict. Let's see if it's right. Let's scale me down. Into my corner I go.
So, you want to hear a story, huh?
Not really, no.
My father told me tales of vault hunting when I was but a little Marcus boy.
We were immediately hit with a retcon. Because Borderlands 1 introduced the vault as a mythos, as something that nobody really took seriously. Even Tannis believed it was just a myth. And, well, in Borderlands 3 she's obsessed with vault hunters for some reason. But retcons don't necessarily have to be bad if they help the story. I'm just gonna pick Flak. Is the most fun one I've played so far.
Now, those jerks who tried to murder you are the children of the vault.
Introduction to the main villain, yes, okay. Oh, introduction to interact. That is a kind of tutorialization. You just gate progress behind success. That is a kind of tutorialization. May I kindly move? No. Let's for now, can I toggle those off for now? For review purposes, let's toggle those off. Wee. Oh, I need to read that. Look alive, soldier! Thank you for your enlistment in Dals. The company, we, us, galactic telecommunication. Hey! I wanted to read that! Someone wrote that! Motherfucker! Okay. Which part is pink? One of these parts is pink. Yes. Alright, good enough. Let's get goofy. Right, I need to get back into the controls. Played Borderlands 1 recently.
I hit a weapons cache nearby. Stay quiet and follow my every move.
The first time I actually did it, right, it actually went a little bit sneaky, but and I remembered what kind of game this is, and
I mean, is this what stealth looks like to you?
Kaboo.
How have you survived this long?
I like Flak. The handling is just so good. Wait a minute.
They might.
I think I'm just seeing something that... Something isn't working right, I'm sorry. Give me a moment, I need to fix this. I fixed it. It is called growing pains, it happens, okay. Oh god, I need to turn the performance down a little. Boop. Boop. Reload.
Go and meet death.
And then give her my number. Some really good introduction to environmental hazards and stuff. Kaboom! Schiff is a really good introduction as a boss fight, and he conveniently gives you the action skill. And an introduction to reviving. The tutorialization of Borderlands 3 is not bad, frankly. What I haven't seen introduced yet was shooting it itself, but like, I mean, if you don't know what a shooter is, then, well, learning by doing. This game isn't difficult.
I did it all by myself.
Of course you did.
I'll bet.
And your voice was in my head. Explain yourself.
I love Flag.
Yeah, about that. Not the weirdest thing you're gonna see on Pandora. Welcome to the
Like Borderlands 2, Borderlands 3 immediately calls you a badass. Immediately.
Let me catch you up. A while back we found
And now we slowly walk. Now she starts running, right. Another introduction to the Children of the World. I thought we already got that from the intro. Why do we have to restate that? We're getting the first taste of freedom in Borderlands 3 in this section. And of course, my Borderlands reflexes, first thing I do is check the shops.
Death calls me across the stars to hunt the living and send them to her. I am her knife, and I must
Deadpool
forever
knockoff.
hone myself.
Hello? Somebody help me! I would prefer not to die like this! Yo! Little help?
Okay, I have to admit I kinda like Vaughn here. And not just because he's evidently ignorable.
The Raiders hanging these days.
In Borderlands 2 I would have just run away.
It's our turn.
I know roughly where this is going. But if I remember correctly, yeah, he just doesn't leave. He just doesn't leave if you're not nearby. That is so weird. But at least he runs the entire way through on his own. I think. I really hope.
Coast is clear! Nice!
Is coast clear?
Won't stop until every band.
I forgot something. I might have fucked up a little bit. I was gonna double dip, do both quests at the same time. I forgot that you have to press interact here.
On? Get it, spy. Go on, pick it up.
Go forth. Even though finding me a new antenna is vitally important, you can do this mission on the side.
Introduction to side quests.
Get a vehicle for this one.
Oh, howdy! Didn't see you there.
The animations are really good, actually. A moment, I need to stretch my back. Okay, maybe I can stretch my...
Your car there, son.
Introduction to the vehicle system. Like I said, the tutorialization is kind of seamless. It's pretty good.
All right.
First of all, I'm going to make my car pink again. If I'm allowed to. Good enough. Nice pink car. Throwback to Borderlands 1.
You're always more likely to find good stuff in them red chests. They're usually hidden pretty good, though, so you'll have to really
You don't
search 'em out.
explain red chests, please. That's as if Doom told you what a pinky was, like out loud. I am disappointed. Of course, there is some tutorialization for the...
Somehow.
My bad. Tutorialization for the, what is it called? For the downward attack? The ladder animation is kind of cute, not gonna lie. Boop, 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 boop. Kaboom. Puppy. Oh my god! That sound! No! I almost feel guilty. Almost.
Whoa, that psycho is
Oh man, the driving is so satisfying.
Nice kill! The Undertaker's foul reign of Under-Terror is over!
Frankly, I don't dislike the Undertaker joke. Like, it's a bit childish, yes, but like, come on. Not like Borderlands was ever a mature game. Find the big suck. Oh shit. Big suck found. It's me! No! Ah! No! I can't go around saying shit like this. Spend skill points. Another boring skill point. Whee! But at least there's a couple of levels happening all the time. Whee! Boing!
I hear you, Peace.
The power. The sneaky.
Whence you came. Accelerating.
Oh, it's kind of cool when you get a Stormfront early on. That kind of shows very well the variety of like weapons and gear you can get in a Borderlands game.
Remember anyone snagging that picture, but I can't blame them. Those are my trusty Hyperion Red Bar X2000s with Quicksilver Fly and no-rise banding.
Weren't those also his abs?
Prime physical specimen.
My first words weren't blood feud or ribcage spelunker. But now we're all family. And family is forever.
That family is forever part might be supposed to like introduce her like philosophy. But frankly, that's not her philosophy now, is it? Kaboom! Such satisfying splatter. Ooh, a Maggie! Holy shit, I didn't even notice that! That is like the best pistol I could get right now, god damn. Right, another boring skill point? No, I don't like that skill. I know it's like technically the highest DPS, but the highest DPS isn't necessarily the best. Also, it's like also kind of also not the most fun to me. Boop. Boop. Hello. Boop. Disappointment.
A glorious quarry.
Bruh. I managed to hurl a grenade at a group of enemies and hit no one. I do kind of appreciate that there's female psychos as well now, and female bandits. Originally they used Mouthpiece as a preview boss, which kind of introduced Borderlands 3's boss fights really well. I don't like the phases being like hard,
It's time to fight.
but I understand why they would hard lock an early boss fight. I mean, look at this. He's barely getting a chance. Oh no. The revive tink. And they... Why doesn't she let me... Why don't they let me just run around? Would you kindly open the door? Thank you.
Love that smashing sound.
Did you know claptrap units can't climb stairs? How laggy we being? Mildly choppy, but it's... I can do this. It is very weird going from like an ancient game like Borderlands 1 to like something that is unnecessarily detailed like Borderlands
Holy broadcast.
Vault Hunter.
3.
I never told them. No.
No.
Smashers never cry.
I knew the COV
He's a
was
bit of a
dangerous.
caricature of the bandits,
Worse
isn't
than I
he?
thought.
Honestly, I don't know who he was in the Tales games. That means I kinda don't have the context that a lot of the people who critiqued his portrayal in Borderlands 3 had. So I kinda just like him. I don't know if like his characterization is how do I say, inconsistent between the games.
Hey you! Cut off your favorite leg!
Tyreen!
I didn't say both. He cut off both.
I feel like they're trying to set her up as like an
Good to see you, my
egomaniac,
boy.
like Handsome Jack was. But like Jack was kind of pathetic in his egomania. She's just kind of like Jack was silly. Jack was weird. Like Bud Stallion was introduced as a joke to show how rich Jack is, and it was a little bit silly. The legs thing was introduced to show how much power Tyreen has over the followers. I don't think that's funny. I think maybe there's an essence of silly missing, something unreasonable. Because like for Pandora, that is just like a normal day at the office. I'm not sure. I'm gonna need to think on that actually. Why do we dislike Tyreen?
Usually when I step in crap, it comes off with a good wipe, but you're kind of a clinger.
Tyreen is angry about that. That would be an interesting way to pay off on that hatred that they're building, or that they might see that they seem to be building. Oop.
When we finally got free,
Hello.
they finally have a place where they belong versus theirs.
How about some friggin' divine retribution?
You can have my retribution, but it won't be divine. I think there's a lot of potential in Borderlands 3 actually, which is kind of why one of the reasons why I'm so disappointed with Borderlands 3 is because it genuinely does have potential. Like even just the plot points that they set up before Borderlands 3, right? At Borderlands, the pre-sequels set off a villain arc for Lilith, which I thought was quite interesting. And there was a little bit of foreshadowing in Battleborn about Tannis being potentially a traitor. Again, I'm not sure where I'm gonna cut this, but for the purposes of a review, I'm gonna recount what I thought of, like, I guess that's the prologue. Like, Pandora is basically just like the tutorial village. Usually you build like your tutorial village very last. The last thing you make is, in theory, going to be the best thing you make. The Pandora tutorial like part wasn't bad, frankly. Like, the gameplay is pretty much peak Borderlands. The controls are very smooth. That's going to be a theme for the entire game, or a statement for the entire game. And all my gameplay actions tend to feel incredibly impactful. The way they inject the story into the game is another thing. I think that is something I'm going to have to repeat the entire fucking playthrough. The story sections are all kind of badly placed for the pacing. You'll feel uneasy waiting for the story to play through. You'll feel like you want to do something every time they put a cutscene on screen. Like every time. At least that's what happens to me. But in the tutorial village, we've already established in a couple of important points for the main story. Mainly the relationship between Troy and Tyreen. On the first Pandora section, they are kind of already being defined as like an abusive, as some sort of abusive relationship. Troy is defensive and has really low self-esteem here.
Gods don't negotiate. Gods don't negotiate! I love it!
What would be necessary for this to be defined as a proper abusive relationship would be that Tyreen is diminutive towards Troy in some way. That I don't think is quite happening, except for that last cutscene on Pandora, where she's overtly annoyed at the dependence.
I'm the siren. He's just a parasite.
Tyreen!
Fine.
As we play through the rest of the story, we will very likely view both of these characters through these roles. That is not important yet, but it will be important for a point that I'm going to make once we've reached Eden 6, or probably once we've returned to Pandora for the second time. There's some like framing for the rest of the story. Okay, but I am already kind of seeing cracks in the writing. Primarily, the big thing is that there just isn't enough exposition to fill all these gaps that they're breaking open. every now and then they stop you to give you some exposition, to talk a little bit about, like, what are the children of the vault? Yeah, mostly what are the children of the vault? That's basically the only thing they define, and they define that 3 times. Now, repetitions can be fine, right? Like, if you intend for me as the player to ignore or skip some of the repetitions, like if you have them in, if you like have the voice line cut off while I'm traveling or something and just stop, or if you have some of it in audio logs. In those cases, repetitions are great because they make sure that you know all the exposition. But even then, they shouldn't repeat themselves. If you then have the repetition, the repeating, and you interrupt the gameplay to tell me the same thing I've already heard, that is, one, you have the gameplay interruption, which kind of like stops your momentum, that causes frustration in the player. On the other hand, telling someone something several times is diminutive, both of which kind of color how we view the story. And to have that very early on will affect a lot of how your players experience the story. That kind of sets your players up to not like the story. Boo.